Hello everyone, this is your channel Physics with Shomita and I am Shomita Gupta Roy, and today we are going to study about some important terms related to magnetism. So let us begin. Now we know that all magnetic phenomena is related to electric charges in motion. Okay, so it was in 1820 when Hans Christian Ørsted discovered that when a magnetic compass needle is brought near a current carrying conductor, the needle suffers a deflection. Now, what is causing this needle to deflect? It is the magnetic field created around the current carrying conductor, which is exerting a torque on the magnetic compass needle and is causing the needle to deflect. Okay, so the magnetic field created by the current carrying conductor. So it was discovered that current carrying conductors, that means electric current or electric charges in motion, produces magnetism, produces a magnetic field around it. That gives rise to magnetism. Electric charges in motion gives rise to magnetism. Okay, now the magnetic properties of a matter are mainly attributed to the electronic motion, that is the orbital and spin motion of the electrons. Okay, so the electronic motion of the atoms of the substance. So magnetic properties are mainly attributed to the electronic, the orbital and spin motion of the atoms of the substance. Now we know that all matter consists of atoms. And atoms consist of a positively charged nucleus at its center with revolving electrons, revolving in various discrete orbits. Now a revolving electron is a tiny current loop. And since it is a charge in motion, an electron is a charge and it is in motion, it is revolving around the nucleus. So it is a tiny current loop, and any current loop, it will act as a magnetic dipole. That means it acts as a magnet. It acts as a magnet. So it has this magnetic dipole moment. Now what do you mean by magnetic dipole moment? It is the magnetic strength. It is the strength and orientation of a magnet or any other object that produces a magnetic field. Okay, so an electron, it is revolving around the positively charged nucleus. It is a tiny current loop and it is equivalent to a magnetic dipole, that is a magnet having two poles, and it has its own magnetic dipole moment. It has its own strength of the magnet. Okay, now besides this orbital motion of the electron, there is a spin motion of the electron. Electron spins about its own axis, and because of the spin motion of the electron, again it is a charge in motion, there is a dipole moment, magnetic dipole moment due to spin motion of the electron. Now magnetic moment of the atom is mainly due to this spin motion of the electron. The contribution of the orbital motion of the electron is very small. Okay, now the examples of magnetic dipole moment, examples of magnetic dipoles, okay, they are loops of electric current like electromagnets, permanent magnets, molecules, various molecules, elementary particles such as electrons, okay, then various astronomical objects like moons, planets, stars, okay, and they all are magnetic dipoles. And again, electrons revolving around the positively charged nucleus, electron orbiting on its, rotating on its own axis, rotating positively charged nuclei, all these are magnetic dipoles on in subatomic dimensions. Again, magnetic compass needle, then bar magnets, they are magnetic dipoles in macroscopic and dimensions. Okay, so let us now see what do you mean by magnetic dipole. We know that magnetic dipole moment measures the strength of the magnet and its orientation, strength and orientation of the magnet. Now what gives rise to magnetism is when this tiny electrons revolving in circular orbits, they are tiny current loops and they have their own dipole moment. They form atomic dipoles, and each dipole moment had its own direction. So when all these atomic dipoles align in the same direction, in a bulk material. A substance consists of millions and billions of atoms. So when all these atomic dipoles align in the same direction, then the substance is said to be magnetized. Okay, so we will come to that later. First we will see the measure of the magnetic dipole moment. How do you measure a magnetic dipole moment? If you have a current loop, Amperian loop of current carrying a current I, Amperian loop carrying a current I, then how do you measure the magnetic dipole moment of that current loop? So let us see that. Now the question may arise that if an electron is a tiny current loop equivalent to a tiny current loop and is a magnetic dipole having its net dipole moment, an atom as a whole consisting of n number of electrons, uneven number of electrons having a net dipole moment, and even electrons, this is for diamagnetic substances. We'll come to that. Diamagnetic, paramagnetic substances, we'll come to that in our next lecture. So if it is having an uneven number of electrons and it has a net dipole moment, okay, so why isn't the substance has the property of magnet? Why it is unmagnetized? So in the unmagnetized state of the substance, the atomic dipoles are aligned randomly. They are randomly aligned. They are not aligned in the same direction. So unless the atomic dipoles are aligned parallel to each other, aligned parallel to each other to the same direction, the substance cannot be magnetized. So when the substance is magnetized by some process, say you have a solenoid, you have a wire around it, and you pass current through that wire, and you put an iron bar inside the core of the solenoid. You want to make the iron bar magnetized. So by any process you want to make a substance magnetized. What is actually happening? What is actually happening? What is creating the substance? What is making the substance magnetized? It is the atomic dipoles which are aligning, or the current loops which are aligning parallel to one another. Current loops are aligning parallel to one another, and the currents are circulating in the same direction. The currents are circulating in the same direction. So unless the currents circulate in the same direction, which can be done only if you send current from a source through the wire, so the current in the atoms will circulate in the same direction. The atomic dipole will align in the same direction. So unless this happens, the atomic dipoles will not get aligned. It is the external magnetic field that will align the atomic dipoles. The atomic dipoles are randomly oriented because they have their own net magnetic dipole moment, which has its own specific direction. Each atom has its own. Say one atomic dipole, it has its net dipole moment aligned in this direction. Another atomic dipole has its net magnetic dipole moment aligned in this direction. They are never going to get aligned in the same direction unless there is an external magnetic field which is making the atomic dipoles align in the same direction. Okay, or the currents are circulating in the same direction. That makes the substance magnetized. So when I say how much a substance is magnetized, means how many atomic dipoles have aligned in the same direction, and what is the net magnetic moment of the substance per unit volume. Per unit volume, how many atomic dipoles have aligned in the same direction? How many? Say out of, there are billions and millions of atoms in a substance, Avogadro number, okay, in 1 gram there are 6.0 to 323 atoms, 1 gram of a substance. So there are millions of atoms in a substance. So if I say that there is a substance and there are n number of atoms in the substance, suppose I'm taking there are 20 atoms, okay, and out of that 5 atoms have aligned in the same direction. So per unit volume, how many atomic dipoles have aligned in the same direction? What is the net magnetic moment of all those atomic dipoles which have aligned in the same direction per unit volume will give you how much the substance is magnetized. Will give you a measure of how much the substance is magnetized, means which will give you a measure of the intensity of magnetization of the substance. Okay, we will come to intensity of magnetization of the substance in details later. First we will know about dipole moment, which I was going to tell you, measure of the dipole moment. So we'll do that, and we will after. So here we are having a small Amperian loop of current I, okay, and the magnetic dipole moment of this loop is given by M equal to IA. Okay, now area, A is the area of the loop. Okay, now A is a vector quantity, and you can see the direction of the magnetic dipole moment. Magnetic dipole moment is a vector quantity. It is in the same direction as the direction of the area vector. Now area vector is the outward drawn normal to the surface. Okay, it is the outward drawn normal to the surface. So but it is better to know the direction of the magnetic dipole moment by right hand rule. What is this right hand rule? You curl the fingers of the right hand in the direction of the current. You curl the fingers, see the current is in this direction. So you curl the fingers of your right hand in the direction of the current. Then the thumb will give you the direction of the magnetic dipole moment. You curl the fingers of your right hand in the direction of the current. The thumb will give you the direction of the magnetic dipole moment. That is the right hand rule. You may write it down. Curl the fingers of the right hand in the direction of the current, then thumb points in the direction of magnetic dipole moment. Okay, this is the rule by which you are going to find out the direction of the magnetic dipole moment. Okay, and magnetic dipole moment, it goes from south pole to north pole. It points from south to north pole. How do you find that a loop is a current carrying loop is a north pole or a south pole? This portion of the loop is north pole because the current is in anti-clockwise direction, and the below portion of the loop, the bottom portion, the other reverse portion of the loop is the south pole. So from south pole to north pole, the current is the direction of the magnetic dipole moment, and of course it is opposite to the direction of the magnetic field, which is from north pole to south pole. The direction of the magnetic dipole moment is opposite to the direction of the magnetic field created by a current carrying loop. Clear? The direction of the magnetic dipole moment is opposite to the direction of the magnetic field. What I'm trying to say is, see here, the current carrying loop is carrying current in the anti-clockwise direction. So if it is carrying current in the anti-clockwise direction, then this phase is the north pole, and the other phase on the back side is the south pole, or below if it is south pole, on the back side. So magnetic dipole moment is from south to north pole, from the bottom to the top. It is something like this actually, like this. The magnetic dipole moment is like this, okay? Okay, now we will do the term magnetic induction or magnetic flux density, or simply we can call it magnetic field, denoted with B. It is a vector field, okay, and it is a measure. Now when a substance is placed in a magnetic field, the substance gets magnetized. Okay, the magnetism so produced in the substance is called induced magnetism, and the phenomena is called magnetic induction, induced magnetism. When the substance is placed in a magnetic field, the substance gets magnetized. Okay, now the magnetic induction, what is the measure of magnetic induction? It is the measure of the number of magnetic lines of force, crossing unit area magnetic lines of force crossing unit area of a magnetized substance, perpendicular to the area, unit area. The number of magnetic lines of force crossing unit area of a magnetized substance perpendicular to the unit area. Okay, so which means that if I keep a substance and this is my external magnetic field or magnetizing field, which is magnetizing the substance, how many magnetic lines of force have passed through this substance? How many magnetic lines of force have passed through this magnetized substance? Substance get magnetized when the magnetic lines of force passes through the substance. Because this external magnetizing field is aligning the atomic dipoles of this substance in the same direction, depending on which the substance is getting magnetized. And the measure of magnetic lines of force, suppose this substance is of 1 meter square area. So how many lines of force have passed? 3 lines of force have passed perpendicular to that area. Area will be something like this, perpendicular to the magnetic lines of force. Okay, the area is perpendicular to the magnetic lines of force, like this. So 3 magnetic lines of force have passed. So the magnetic induction, measure of magnetic induction or magnetic flux density or magnetic field will be 3 Tesla. Tesla is the unit, okay, or 3T. Or Tesla we can also write Weber per meter square. Weber per meter square. Weber is the unit of magnetic flux, the total number of magnetic lines of force crossing a magnetized substance. So here how many magnetic lines of force are crossing unit area perpendicular to that area of the magnetized substance. Okay, that will give you a measure of the magnetic induction. Okay, now coming to the next term, intensity of magnetization or intensity of magnetization of a substance. Intensity of magnetization or simply magnetization. What it is? Intensity of magnetization or magnetization, it is denoted with M. It is of the substance. Intensity of magnetization of the substance. It means that the substance is, it depends, the intensity of magnetization depends upon the nature of the substance, the specific nature of the substance. Okay, how much it is, it means how much the substance is magnetized or the extent to which the substance is magnetized. Extent to which, that means how much the substance is magnetized, is given by the intensity of magnetization. What do you mean by the term intensity? Strength of magnetization, how much the substance is magnetized. Now how will you know how much the substance is magnetized? It's very easy. How do you know that the substance is magnetized or not? The substance is magnetized when the current loops or the atomic dipoles all align parallel to one another. Okay, so when a substance is placed in an external magnetizing field, and if the external magnetizing field, suppose a substance, this is the substance, in the unmagnetized state of the substance, the atomic dipoles all are randomly oriented. All are randomly oriented in the unmagnetized state of the substance. Now you apply an external magnetic field to the substance. Okay, there is an external magnetic field you have applied to the substance. Okay, all the atomic dipoles or most of the atomic dipoles have aligned in the same direction except for a few. Now in a unit volume, what is the magnetic dipole moment? If there is the 2 atomic dipoles have aligned in the same direction, say this is 1 meter cube. So in this unit volume, what is the net magnetic dipole moment of these 2 atomic dipoles being aligned in the same direction will give you the magnetization of the substance. That is net magnetic moment per unit volume. In 1 meter cube volume, 2 atomic dipoles have aligned in the same direction. So what is the magnetic moment of these 2 atomic dipoles? Will give you the net magnetic moment per unit volume, will give you the intensity or magnetization of the substance. It is specific nature or depends upon the specific nature of the substance, but is influenced by the external factors, by the external magnetizing field. Stronger the external magnetizing field, more atomic dipoles. Say this is not aligned. Now if you increase the strength of the magnetizing fields, this atomic dipole will also get aligned in this direction. Now 3 atomic dipoles have aligned in the same direction. So the magnetic moment will change per unit volume. Suppose there are 3 atomic dipoles in this 1 meter cube. Previously 2 atomic dipoles was aligned in the same direction. So the magnetic moment per unit volume was different. Now you have increased the strength of the external magnetizing field. Now 3 atomic dipoles have aligned in the same direction. So 3 atomic dipoles aligned in the same direction. So the magnetization, the magnetic moment per unit volume is now different. Okay. So what is its unit? Its unit is ampere per meter. Unit of M. Magnetization is ampere per meter. Okay. Now magnetic intensity or magnetic field strength, we denote it with H, magnetic intensity or magnetic field strength we denote it with H. Okay. When a substance is placed in an external magnetic field, it becomes magnetized. Okay. The actual magnetic field inside the substance is the sum due to the external field plus the field produced by magnetization of the substance. Is the sum of the external field. The external field is there. The external field is inside this substance. Plus a field is produced due to the magnetization of the substance. The substance is getting magnetized. So how much the substance is getting magnetized, depending on that, if the substance is getting more magnetized, it will allow greater number of magnetic lines of force to pass through it. So the net magnetic field inside the substance is the net magnetic field inside the substance. B is the net magnetic field inside the substance. It is the sum of the external field. External field lines are passing through the substance plus the field produced due to magnetization of the substance. The magnetization of the substance is getting magnetized. Okay, how much the substance is getting magnetized, depending on that, it will have its own magnetic lines of force which will pass through the substance. Okay, how much substance is getting magnetized, depending on that. So external magnetic field B naught, it is the external field, the sum of the external field, the magnetic field inside the substance. There are now these magnetic lines of force are passing through the substance. So the sum of the external field and the field due to magnetization of the substance, not plus M, plus B suffix M. The field due to magnetization of the substance. Since the substance has got magnetized, depending on how much the substance has got magnetized, it will give rise to magnetic lines of force, and how many magnetic lines of force is passing through this substance. Okay. Okay, so what I'm trying to say here is that this magnetized bar, however much the substance is magnetized, this substance has its own magnetic field and its lines of force are in the same direction as that of the original field inside the bar. Okay, the external field lines are passing through the bar. It's the lines of force of the magnetized bar is in the same direction as the field, as the external field that is inside the bar, that is passing through the bar. okay, or the original field inside the bar. So this is the original field inside the bar, and this is the field due to the magnetization of the substance. The magnetic field produced due to magnetization of the substance. So this is the external field, which is the original field inside the bar, and this is the field due to magnetization of the substance. When the bar got magnetized, this is an iron bar, and it got magnetized, then it will have its own magnetic field, and the magnetic lines of force will pass through the bar. And how many magnetic lines of force will pass? And they are in the same direction as that of the external field. Okay, so depending on how many magnetic lines of force are passing, it depends on that, there will be the magnetic flux density will increase. So this is the magnetic flux density. So the magnetic flux density is the sum of the flux density due to the external flux density, external magnetic field, external magnetic flux density, plus the flux density due to magnetization of the substance. Flux density means magnetic flux. So B naught can be written as mu naught H. We have introduced a term H here. Magnetic field strength or magnetic intensity. Mu naught is the permeability of free space. What do you mean by permeability of free space? How much the free space, if a magnetic field is passing through free space or vacuum, how many magnetic lines of force will the vacuum how much the vacuum is permeable to the magnetic lines of force? Means how many lines of force the vacuum will allow to pass through it. Okay, if a magnetic field is passing, if magnetic lines of force are passing through vacuum, if there is a magnetic field, magnetic lines of force are passing through vacuum, then how many lines of force the vacuum will allow to pass through it? This is a measure of the magnetic lines of force or conduction, the measure of the conduction of the magnetic lines of force through vacuum. Okay, when there is a magnetic field. Okay, so B naught is mu naught H, and Bm, the magnetic field due to magnetization of the substance, is mu naught M. Okay, mu naught M. So you can, from here, you can write H to be equal to B by mu naught minus M. Okay, H is also a vector quantity, and is the unit of H is same as that of M. Okay, ampere per meter, where mu naught is the permeability of free space, has a value of 4 pi into 10 to the power minus 7 Tesla meter per ampere. Tesla meter per ampere, this is the value. Okay, now I give an example. You consider a solenoid. With n number of turns per unit length. Per unit length, there are n number of turns, and it is carrying, solenoid is carrying, the wire is carrying a current I. Okay, it is carrying a current I. So the magnetic field in the interior of the solenoid, is vacuum, minded. The magnetic field in the interior of the solenoid is given by mu naught Ni. Fine. Now, this is the magnetic field in the interior of the solenoid. Now you place an iron rod inside the solenoid. The core of the solenoid is filled with a non-zero material of non-zero magnetization. Non-zero magnetization means a magnetized magnetic material, not magnetized, I'm sorry, a magnetic material. Material which can be magnetized. Okay, so I place a material with non-zero magnetization, a material which can be magnetized, such as an iron rod, I place inside as the core of the solenoid, and the field inside the solenoid gets modified. Previously, the field inside the solenoid was mu naught Ni. N being the number of turns per unit length, I is the current passing through the solenoid. Now the field gets modified. The field is the sum of the original field inside the solenoid when there was vacuum, the field inside the solenoid when there was vacuum, plus the field due to magnetization of the core of the solenoid. The field due to magnetization of the core of the solenoid is all the vector quantities. Okay. Now, what is Bm? What is B naught? That is mu naught H. So from here H you get another formula for H equal to Ni. H equal to Ni plus Bm is mu naught M. Okay, again we have reached to the same formula. Okay, H is equal to Ni. You have a formula over here as well. So B is equal to mu naught H plus mu naught M. Okay, the magnetic field inside the solenoid, when you have inserted a material of non-zero magnetization like an iron bar which can be magnetized, the magnetic field inside the solenoid gets modified. It gets increased by a factor Bm. The magnetic field due to magnetization of the substance, because the substance can be magnetized further, and that magnetic field due to magnetization of the substance is mu naught M. Okay, now B is equal to mu naught H plus M. If there is only vacuum, then B is equal to B mu naught H. Okay, B naught is equal to mu naught H if there is only vacuum. When there is a material of non-zero magnetization, then it is increased by a factor Bm, where H is the magnetic field intensity or magnetic field strength. H has the same unit, ampere per meter. And so I repeat the process again. When a substance is placed in a magnetizing field, the substance is magnetized. Okay, when a substance is placed in a magnetizing field, the substance is magnetized. The total magnetic field, that is magnetic flux density or magnetic induction inside the substance, is the sum, is divided. Can be divided into two parts. One due to the external factor. This is the external factor. One due to the external factor. What is the external factor? The current through the solenoid. Another due to the magnetization of the substance, which means it depends upon the specific nature of the substance. Depending upon the nature of the substance, varies from substance to substance. Okay, and is also influenced by the external factor, like the current. You increase the current, the magnetization of the substance increases, and the magnetic field, total magnetic field inside the substance increases. Okay. Okay, next we are going to study about magnetic susceptibility of a substance. Magnetic susceptibility of a substance means how easily the substance can be magnetized when placed in an external magnetic field. When a substance is placed in an external magnetic field, how easily the substance can be magnetized. How easily the substance can be magnetized. That is the meaning of magnetic susceptibility, can be magnetized. Okay, it is given by it is a dimensionless quantity because it is the ratio of two quantities having same units and dimensions. Okay, so M by H. So it can be said to be and it is a scalar quantity. It is a scalar quantity. Okay, so it can be said as the magnetization produced in a substance. What do you mean by magnetization produced in a substance? Magnetic moment per unit volume of the substance. When placed in an external magnetic field, external magnetizing field of unit intensity, unit field intensity, unit field strength. The magnetization, it is the ratio of the magnetization to the magnetic intensity of the magnetizing field. That is how you get the definition in the book. It is the ratio of the magnetization to the magnetic intensity of the magnetizing field. Magnetization of the substance to the magnetic intensity of the magnetizing field. Isn't it? This is the magnetic intensity of the magnetizing field. Magnetizing field means the field which is magnetizing the substance. that is producing the magnetization. Magnetizing field means the field that is producing the magnetization in the substance. Okay, so the magnetization produced, so it can be also said as the magnetization produced in a substance when the substance is placed in a magnetizing field of unit magnetic intensity. It is said that chi for aluminium is 2.3 into 10 to the power minus 5. Aluminium is a paramagnetic substance. It is a paramagnetic substance. Paramagnetic substance means magnetization. The direction of magnetization means when the substance is magnetized. Suppose this is the substance, an iron bar, and it is magnetized. So aluminium bar, and it is magnetized. So the magnetic field due to this magnetization of the substance is in the same direction as the magnetizing field H. The magnetic field produced due to magnetization of the substance is the same direction as the external magnetizing field H. Whereas for diamagnetic substances, why that happens we will know in the next lecture of diamagnetic paramagnetic substances. In diamagnetic substances like bismuth, when you place it in an external magnetic field H, it actually goes like this. The magnetic field actually goes like this, and the substance gets magnetized, but the magnetic field lines due to magnetization of the substance is in the opposite direction. So M is in the opposite direction to H. The magnetic field lines or magnetization or the atomic dipoles orient in the opposite direction to the external magnetizing field. Okay, for bismuth, for diamagnetic substances, M and H are in opposite direction. So negative sign you see. Minus 1.66 into 10 to the power minus 5. So it means, what do you mean by the statement that magnetic susceptibility for aluminium is 2.3 into 10 to the power minus 5? It means that 2.3 into 10 to the power minus 5 ampere per meter of magnetization is produced in aluminium. This much magnetization is produced in aluminium, or this much magnetic moment per unit volume is produced in magnetization in aluminium when placed in a magnetic field, external magnetizing field of 1 ampere per meter. When H equal to 1 ampere per meter, M equal to this much. That is the meaning of chi being chi equal to 2.3 into 10 to the power minus 5. When the magnetic field intensity of the external magnetizing field is 1 ampere per meter, then the magnetization produced in the substance is this much ampere per meter. That is the meaning of susceptibility, and is different for different substances. We have already seen for aluminium and bismuth. Now, so chi is small, it is small, you can see. So chi is small and positive. That is also one difference between paramagnetic and ferromagnetic. Small and positive for paramagnetic. Chi is small and negative for diamagnetic. Diamagnetic and paramagnetic. So I is small and positive for paramagnetic. I is small and negative for diamagnetic substances. Magnetic permeability of the substance. It is a measure of the conduction of magnetic lines of force through the substance. Conduction of magnetic lines of force through the substance. How many magnetic lines of force are passing through the substance? So it actually means the magnetic induction, that is the magnetic lines of force per unit area inside the substance when magnetizing field of unit magnetic intensity is applied. Magnetizing field of unit magnetic intensity is applied. Okay, how many magnetic lines of force are passing through the substance, through unit area of the substance? Okay, so when a magnetizing field of unit magnetic intensity is applied. Now, B is equal to B naught plus Bm, we know. the original magnetic field inside the substance due to the external field, and the field due to magnetization of the substance. This is due to the external factor. This is due to the external factor mu naught H. H is the external factor like the current in the solenoid. And this is due to magnetization of the substance. Depends on the nature of the substance, this. Okay, specific nature of the substance. And this also depends upon H though. Okay, so mu naught H plus mu naught, and M we know it has this relation with susceptibility chi H. So we can write it mu naught 1 plus chi H. Again, B is equal to mu H. B, magnetic field or magnetic induction inside produced in a substance, okay, is mu times the magnetizing field, strength of the magnetizing field, mu times the strength of the magnetizing field. The magnetic field produced within a substance is mu times the strength of the magnetizing field. Okay, so mu H is mu naught 1 plus chi H. So H being non-zero gets cancelled. So mu is equal to mu naught 1 plus chi. Or mu by mu naught is equal to 1 plus chi. And mu by mu naught is nothing but mu r, relative permeability. It is a dimensionless, again a unit without any unit because it is the ratio of two similar quantities. So mu r is the relative permeability. Relative permeability. Okay, that is 1 plus chi. It is the ratio of the magnetic permeability of the substance to the permeability of free space. Magnetic permeability of the substance to the permeability of free space. Okay. Now, which means the conduction of magnetic lines of force through the substance to the conduction of magnetic lines of force through free space. That is the meaning of relative magnetic permeability. Okay, ratio of the two. The ratio of the now mu r is mu by mu naught. Okay, mu is B by H. Mu naught is B naught by H. Isn't it? Remember, mu naught is equal to B naught by H, or B naught equal to mu naught H. Okay, so it actually comes down to B by B naught, mu r equal to, mu r is equal to B by B naught. So it is the ratio of magnetic flux density inside the substance when placed in an external magnetic field. Magnetic flux density inside the substance when placed in an external magnetizing field to the flux density in vacuum when placed in the same field. The magnetic flux density developed, that is the, what do you mean by magnetic flux density? Number of magnetic lines of force passing through unit area through the substance, perpendicular to the number of magnetic lines of force. The area should be perpendicular to the number of magnetic lines of force. So the number of magnetic lines of force passing through unit area perpendicular to it, to the number of magnetic lines of force passing through unit area perpendicular to it in vacuum, perpendicular to the unit area in vacuum. Okay, so it is the ratio of magnetic flux density in the substance when placed in an external magnetic field or magnetizing field to the magnetic flux density in vacuum when placed in the same field. Or B is equal to mu r B naught. So you can also write that mu r times the magnetic field increases. Okay, so permeability, it is something, if you want to draw the analogy with permittivity used to act as a villain which decreases the forces between the two charges. How much the force between the two charges used to decrease, but here the magnetic field increases. Magnetic field increases by a factor mu r when a substance is inserted. Remember, when you have taken a solenoid and you have passed a wire and there is a current through the solenoid, whatever magnetic field is produced, if you insert an iron core, the magnetic field used to increase. So by how much the magnetic field will increase? By the permeability of the substance. Mu r times magnetic field will increase. Okay, so the magnetic flux density in a substance placed in a magnetizing field, magnetic flux density in a substance placed in an external magnetizing field, H, is mu r times the magnetic flux density in vacuum in the same magnetizing field. Okay, magnetic flux density in the substance, iron, okay, iron core in case of a solenoid. Magnetic flux density developed in the substance, okay, when placed in an external magnetizing field is mu r times the magnetic flux density developed in vacuum when placed in the same field. So let us jot down the relations, what all relations we have learned so far. That we have learned M equal to the intensity of magnetization is net magnetic moment per unit volume by V. The second relation that we have learned is H equal to B naught plus Bm. The net magnetic field inside the substance is the external field, and the field due to magnetization of the substance, that is mu naught H plus mu naught M. Third is H is equal to B by mu naught minus M. Okay. Fourth is mu equal to mu naught 1 plus chi. Fifth is mu r equal to mu by mu naught. Sixth is mu r is equal to B by B naught. I hope these are all. Okay. Thank you.